Okay, so we're here with Jamison Dietrich ahead of NCAA National Championship meet. Uh, Jamison, Connor did a great job, got himself into the NCAA Championship meet. What's it like only having one student athlete,
hmm
uh, you know, make that? How does that change how you coach or how you might approach this meet?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. You go from conference where we have 30 athletes competing close to, and then we go to nationals and we have one, which is very different. It's a good thing, especially in something like the decathlon. We can spend all of our attention on Connor. With a conference, Coach Cuttaquest was running around like crazy trying to go to discus, then catch Connor, catch Madeline. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, and so nationals, it's really easy where we're there for every single event. We don't have to be running around like crazy, so it's a lot nicer. I think it's a better experience probably for Connor as well.
So this year's NCAAs are in Pueblo, Colorado. How do you get an athlete acclimated coming from here near sea level to almost a mile high in Pueblo?
Yeah, I mean, for us, like, there's no acclimatization. Like, we're going up there, and we're just going to deal with it. I mean, when you don't have weeks to get ready for altitude, in perfect scenario, we go up there like a month in advance and spend some time there, but that's just not possible. And so we're going up there the week of, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. The one nice thing with Connor is he is a transfer from Air Force, so he's very used to going up to altitude, and he knows what that feels like. I think that's the biggest thing of just having confidence of being able to perform still at altitude, kind of knowing what to expect too. Uh, with the deck, it's not a huge player where we're not running a 10K where it's a massive difference, but he's got to run a 15. Being at altitude, you're definitely going to get a little bit more tired. Probably your recovery between events is going to be affected a bit. But Connor should know how that feels just from being up at Air Force, and so I think it's definitely a pretty decent advantage for him versus someone who is coming from sea level too.
What kind of expectations do you have, knowing all the different factors that go into the decathlon and all the
Mm.
different events for Connor this weekend?
Yeah. So with Connor, I think a lot of people don't even realize during our indoor season, he was vaulting and a pole broke, and it actually broke one of his tendons in his finger, and so he had to get surgery and missed weeks of training during indoors, which is a pretty important time as we get geared up for outdoor. So his outdoor season was a bit of a slow roll almost, where he kind of ramped up a lot at the end and showed a lot of improvement at the conference meet, and a big part of that was just he had training under his belt by that point. So now with nationals, I think Connor would agree with conference. He definitely had a very good meet. It wasn't perfect. There's certainly areas he can work on. I would say he ran really well. Like all of his running events were great. He vaulted really well at conference. But he can definitely do a little better in the throws. Some of the jumps he can do better on too. So it's not like he had this perfect scenario meet where he's just barely got into nationals. I think he's ranked ninth going into it. So hopefully, we can be top 8. That'd be a great goal. And I think he's capable of that. Where there's some room to grow still. He can score higher, which would be great for the program. I think it's been last time we had a male field event All American, I believe, was 2005 when Ed Brown and discus, and so it's been a while. So it could be nice if Connor can kind of end that streak for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thanks.
We're here with Connor Munson ahead of the NCAA track championships. Connor, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
A really solid conference meet. Put you solidly into the national championship meet, the first decathlete here to go over 7,000. What's your mindset as you entered conference and then now coming out of it as you go to the NCAA championship meet?
Well, I going into conference was probably a little too cocky, as some of my teammates pointed out, especially Landon. But I wasn't really nervous going into that meet. I mean, I know it's been a long time coming, that 7K mark, and I just all the training and hard work and the phenomenal coaching this past how long have I been here? 9-ish months. It's finally come together, and I I I get to do what I love. And same mindset going into nationals. Not terribly nervous, but just gonna show up, have fun, and execute, and do what I know what I can do.
Coach had mentioned earlier a transfer from Air Force
Yes, sir.
heading back out now to Pueblo for the national championship meet. Do you feel like that might give you a little bit of edge just knowing what it's like? You're not going to have time to acclimate
Mhm.
altitude wise, but just knowing what that climate's like and what that area is like now and having competed there.
Yes, yes, definitely. I have competed at that stadium before, and unfortunately, that specific meet didn't go the way that I wanted. But it it's definitely going to be nice to be comfortable, especially since we're staying in Colorado Springs. Hopefully, I can see some of my friends that do go to Air Force, but I yeah, just being in a familiar environment and being comfortable is definitely going to be an advantage.
How unique is it for you to be a solo athlete? You know, your teammates aren't there. You're going to have both Coach Cunninquist and Coach Dietrich there
Mm.
to kind of help you through and coach you up. Do you feel like that gives you an advantage over maybe some of the athletes that might have larger teams there and split attention?
I think when it comes to coaching, yes, having that individualized attention will be beneficial. And it was something that I was lacking for a very, very long time. But training leading up to it, we were talking before that it's a little boring being by yourself. And I was able to steal one of my teammates yesterday to, stay with me during my workouts. So it's it's going to be a little difficult not having the support of the team, but having individualized attention from the coaching staff is going to be amazing.
Awesome, Connor. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.